In the early hours of March 8, 2014, a routine international flight departed Kuala Lumpur, bound for Beijing. On board were 239 people, families returning home, business travelers, students, and a crew with years of flying experience. Nothing about the departure suggested history was about to be made. Less than an hour after takeoff, the aircraft simply disappeared. No distress call, no confirmed crash site, no eyewitness account that explained what happened. More than a decade later, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 remains one of aviation's greatest unsolved mysteries, a case that has challenged investigators, governments, military agencies, and aviation experts around the world. This is the documented story of Flight MH370. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 was a scheduled overnight service from Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia to Beijing Capital International Airport in China. The aircraft was a Boeing 777-200ER, one of the safest and most reliable long-haul aircraft ever built. It had accumulated thousands of successful flights and had no known issues that would have prevented the journey. The flight carried 227 passengers from more than a dozen countries and 12 crew members. At the controls was Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, a veteran pilot with over 18,000 hours of flying experience. Beside him sat First Officer Fariq Abdul Hamid, who was nearing the completion of his training as a commercial airline captain. Weather conditions across the planned route were calm. Every indication suggested the flight would arrive in Beijing shortly after sunrise. At 12:41 a.m. local time, MH370 lifted off from Kuala Lumpur and climbed normally toward its cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. For nearly 40 minutes, everything appeared routine. The aircraft followed its assigned flight path. Communication with air traffic controllers was normal. Passengers likely settled into their seats, watched movies, or prepared to sleep through the overnight journey. At 1:19 a.m., as the aircraft approached the boundary between Malaysian and Vietnamese airspace, the Kuala Lumpur controller instructed the crew to contact Ho Chi Minh Area Control. Captain Zahari responded calmly. "Good night. Malaysian 370. Those would become the final known words transmitted from the cockpit. Less than 2 minutes later, the aircraft's secondary surveillance radar signal disappeared. Normally, the next controller would establish contact within moments. But MH370 never checked in. Repeated radio calls received no response. At first, controllers assumed the aircraft was experiencing a routine communication delay. Minutes passed, then more. Concern quickly turned into alarm. Unknown to civilian controllers, military radar had detected something unusual. Instead of continuing northeast toward Beijing, the aircraft made a sharp turn back across the Malaysian peninsula. It crossed the country, flew over the Strait of Malacca, and headed northwest into the Andaman Sea. The maneuver was deliberate. It required controlled flight. Whoever was flying the aircraft executed multiple course changes with remarkable precision. Yet no emergency message was ever transmitted. Investigators soon learned that the aircraft's transponder, the system that identifies an aircraft to civilian radar, had stopped transmitting. The Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System, commonly known as ACARS, had also ceased sending routine operational data. Without these systems, MH370 became far more difficult to track. However, one technology continued to function. Although the aircraft was no longer sending operational reports, it still exchanged automated electronic handshakes with an Inmarsat satellite approximately every hour. These signals did not reveal the aircraft's exact position. Instead, they showed that the aircraft remained airborne for several more hours after disappearing from civilian radar. That single discovery completely changed the investigation. Instead of crashing near Vietnam, MH370 had continued flying deep into the Indian Ocean. An international search operation began almost immediately. Ships, military aircraft, satellites, and rescue teams from numerous countries joined the effort. Initial searches focused on the South China Sea. When satellite analysis revealed the aircraft had flown in the opposite direction, resources shifted thousands of kilometers away. Attention turned to one of the most remote stretches of ocean on Earth. The southern Indian Ocean presented extraordinary challenges: powerful currents, massive waves, unpredictable weather, and water depths exceeding 6,000 meters in some locations. Specialized underwater vehicles mapped enormous sections of the seabed. Despite years of searching, investigators found no main wreckage. The search eventually covered more than 120,000 square kilometers, making it the most extensive and expensive search effort in aviation history. For more than a year, there was no physical evidence. Then, in July 2015, a barnacle-covered aircraft wing component washed ashore on Reunion Island in the western Indian Ocean. Experts identified it as a flaperon from MH370. The discovery confirmed what many investigators had feared. The aircraft had entered the Indian Ocean. Over the following years, additional pieces of debris were recovered along coastlines in Mozambique, Tanzania, South Africa, and nearby islands. Several fragments were conclusively identified as belonging to MH370, while others were considered highly likely matches. Ocean current modeling showed that these discoveries were consistent with an impact somewhere in the southern Indian Ocean. Even so, the main wreckage remained missing. Investigators examined every plausible explanation: mechanical failure, catastrophic decompression, hijacking, pilot incapacitation, fire, deliberate human intervention. The aircraft itself had no history of major technical problems that could fully explain the sequence of events. The deliberate change in course suggested someone had control of the aircraft after communications ceased. Authorities thoroughly examined Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah's background, personal life, finances, and activities. Investigators also reviewed his home flight simulator. While certain deleted simulator data attracted public attention, official investigators found no evidence proving it was linked to MH370. First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid was also investigated. No evidence indicated he was responsible for the disappearance. Every passenger underwent extensive background checks. Several individuals initially attracted media attention, but none were found to have credible links to the aircraft's disappearance. Despite years of investigation, no conclusive evidence established exactly who or what caused MH370 to leave its planned route. In 2018, Malaysia released its official safety investigation report. The report acknowledged that investigators could not determine with certainty why the aircraft deviated from its flight path. However, it concluded that the aircraft's movements were consistent with manual control rather than an uncontrolled mechanical event. The report stopped short of assigning blame to any individual. Instead, it emphasized that without locating the main wreckage, many crucial questions could never be answered. Critical evidence, including the flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder, remained somewhere on the ocean floor. Those devices could reveal the aircraft's final moments. Without them, the investigation remains incomplete. Although official underwater searches were suspended after years without success, interest in locating MH370 never disappeared. Advances in seabed mapping, satellite analysis, and drift modeling have encouraged renewed efforts. Private exploration companies have proposed returning to the southern Indian Ocean using improved technology capable of surveying previously inaccessible terrain. Families of the passengers continue to advocate for new searches, believing the aircraft can still be found. Each anniversary serves as a reminder that for many, the tragedy has never truly ended. Flight MH370 was not only an aviation disaster, it became one of the greatest unsolved investigations of the modern era. An advanced aircraft vanished from one of the world's busiest air corridors without a confirmed explanation. Despite international cooperation, cutting-edge technology, and years of painstaking investigation, the central mystery remains unresolved. Somewhere beneath the vast waters of the southern Indian Ocean, investigators believe the aircraft may still rest. Until the wreckage is found and its recorders are recovered, the final chapter of MH370 remains unwritten. For the families of the 239 people on board, the search has never been solely about an aircraft. It has always been about finding answers. And after all these years, those answers remain just beyond reach.
Thank you for watching. If you found this documentary informative, consider subscribing for more carefully researched true crime stories based on verified facts, court records, and official investigations. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and remember that the most unsettling mysteries are often the ones hidden in plain sight.